Andrew.
Good morning, Adrian. It's great to be here.
I welcome Andrew Horton, CEO of QBE and ex-CEO of Beazley,
Thank you for that, Adrian.
to the Beazley cab.
Yeah.
I was told this morning that QBE have QBE cabs going around London as well.
They've had QBE branded cabs, which ended a couple of days ago.
Oh,
Hopefully you've been in many of them.
Oh.
Yes, many, I can tell.
They're my second favourite cab, Andrew.
Exactly, I can believe it.
It's a close run.
But there's only one of these, and there were a few hundred of those.
No, we have 5.
5, okay, fine.
5.
Okay.
We're 5. It's been 5 years since you left Beazley. And running QBE, which is bigger and more complex. So what have been your biggest learnings, and what did you bring across to QBE from Beazley?
Yeah, so the biggest learnings is it's not that dramatically different, just the size of the organization.
Yep.
So we obviously have more people and more countries and a few more products, but the fundamentals of insurance aren't dramatically different, the importance of relationships and what we actually do. So I didn't find it as different as I thought I might when I stepped into the role. And I think some of the learnings I picked up, Adrian, were, the Andrew Beazley had a profound impression on my own leadership style.
Yep.
And his issue about culture, people, relationships, and trust have been absolutely the most important things I think I've added, if anything, to QBE, but a lot of it was already there in the first place. So it was more similar than most people would think. Yeah. There was a bit of difference between the various divisions within QBE.
The three
divisions. Three: North America, International Run from London, and Sydney.
Yep.
And we've been working on making them as similar as possible.
Got it. So I'm interested anyway. Obviously, we're going to be part of Zurich in the future.
Sure.
So given that you've experienced a bigger company, more global, and a smaller one, any advice for us?
It's a good question. I think it's hard to give you any advice because you've done such a great job in what you've been doing, but I don't think you may not find it that different.
Okay.
So you will find it different.
Okay.
Obviously, because there are certain things you won't be doing. You won't be a public company anymore. So you'll find certain things different, and those things may be things you miss or don't miss.
I think miss or don't miss.
Exactly.
They're probably both are true.
But I think the way you built the company, you'll be able to do the same sort of things within the Zurich umbrella, I'm sure. Those key things are consistent relationships, longevity of insurance, trust from your clients and brokers. They're going to be as important as ever.
Got it. And one of the things you mentioned was trying to get more, I guess, cohesion or coordination or consistency between the three divisions.
Yeah.
Has that been easy to do? Because I think that may be a challenge that we have to, or an opportunity that we're going to have to deal with.
I think it's a good point. I think I had one of the advantages I had when I joined was the 3 CEOs of the divisions were relatively new. So we could reset how we wanted the company to operate.
What about being an Australian listed company rather than a FTSE listed company? Is that a different experience?
I found it really similar, actually. So a lot of the rules that I find in Australia and the way things have got to operate are very similar to the UK, from regulation, the way the ASX works compared with the stock exchange here, the way analysts and investors interact with us. I don't think it's dramatically different. There are definitely differences, but it's more similar than different. It's not a lot different. We're obviously unique, being the only international Australian insurer. So that's one of the differences, because there's nothing to compare us with in the local market. We are the only one. Yeah.
Well, we suffer from that a little bit because there's only really 2 of us.
Exactly, that's right. But there used to be, you and I remember 10 or 12. So the sort of historic memory. Well,
that's true.
I guess in Australia there's been one, is one. Looks like there will be one.
Will be one. Well, hopefully there'll be one for a few years.
Exactly.
As you reach your 200th
anniversary. That would be good.
Quick question. Australian Pinot.
That's right.
Or Burgundy?
Yeah, so I'm trying to drink every Australian wine at this point in time.
I would
and see all of Australia. And I definitely have a preference for Australian Pinot.
Over
Burgundy. If you'd asked me the other way around, of Australian Chardonnay over
Chablis,
or some of the other white Burgundies, then it would be more level pegging. But I've definitely got a taste for Australian Pinot at this point. I've got a taste for it. Yeah. So the ones in Victoria are just excellent.
You mentioned that QBE or being CEO of QBE was not actually that much different to being CEO of Beazley. Has being based in Australia given you a different perspective on insurance from being in London?
I definitely think it has. I mean, you've worked overseas, haven't you?
Yes.
You've worked outside, and I think it definitely gives you a perspective. So getting a perspective of the world from Australia is a completely different
Yes.
view to the world, and the way Australia thinks about what's going on in the world is somewhat different to everybody else. So I think that has really helped. You also get local problems that you don't necessarily feel in the UK. So in Australia, for instance, they're being impacted by major catastrophes over the past few years. The level of flooding, wildfires has just been much greater than it has been in previous years. So that catastrophe issue, weather change, is really felt locally. And the affordability of insurance is a much, much bigger issue in Australia than I felt when living in the UK. Because of the knock-on effects.
Because we talk about climate change a lot in the UK, and we get it in flooding and the like from time to time, but it hasn't really been catastrophic. We haven't lived the catastrophic impact like they have in Australia. And when you talk about insurance or the sort of global nature of QBE, has doing it from Australia changed your view of insurance around the world?
No, I don't think so. So it has a lot of similarities. Again, the relationships are really important. Distribution is very similar. So it hasn't really changed my view. To say, other than that, bringing home to me the things that companies and individuals are struggling with in areas that I haven't lived in.
Has it changed your view of the London market?
I like that question. No, it shows me that it is as opportunistic at times that it can be. So an example is in Australia, we're feeling the pressure of a lot of agencies supported by London capacity sort of 2 years after the peak of pricing. So coming in a bit late and making it very competitive. So we've had no growth in our premiums in Australia in 2025, probably have limited growth in our premiums in 2026, while we can grow elsewhere, mainly because London capacity is coming in. So I guess has that changed my view? No, because I had that view that it played in some areas of the world opportunistically before. Australia is an interesting country though, because it's not very large, and you and I have had these conversations in years gone by. Everybody wants to be there, so it doesn't take a lot of extra capacity coming in to really make tip it. Yeah, exactly, that's right.
So you've seen the effects of what the London market can do.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, so it's brought home in a more personal way.
Exactly, that's right. You're right, and of course, people when they watch this, when we're talking about this, will say, well, he's bound to say that because he's an Australian central insurer with the largest commercial percentage in Australia. So
stop showing off.
If he can use this for a plug to get the London capacity out, then we can just carry on our merry way that we've done for 140 years.
There we go.
Exactly, that's right. Exactly, and showing off. Yeah, we've been there a long time.
You have. Meat pie or Cornish pasty?
I think I'm more of a Cornish pasty person. I think I was grown up on Cornish pasties. I do like both, but I'd go for Cornish pasties rather than meat pies. Definitely.
Good.
I grew up sadly with Cornish pasty, opening them up, putting tomato ketchup on the inside of them, and closing them down again.
Ketchup, not brown sauce?
No, ketchup mainly, although I do like brown sauce as well.
Okay, interesting. So as you thought about 2026, what are the main things on your agenda?
Yes, so I think it's going to be a continuation of what we've done. We've got pretty good stability of where we are, but I've really got to look at AI. So I'm trying to get my head around the impact of AI on the industry, have high hopes it is going to make the placement of insurance easier for end clients.
Well, this is a hobby horse we've been on for a while.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and this could be the breakthrough. Because it's something that's remarkably fast in what it can actually do. And as you know, taking in claims and submissions just takes a long time to get through it. So I'm really focusing on that, and that's going to be the main aim for this year, is what benefit as an industry and as a company we can get from AI.
Where do you sit on the AI as a threat?
Our aim is to get people learning a lot about it, being as open about it as possible, and utilizing it as much as we possibly can.
And do you see it as a risk or an opportunity for insurers in terms of
I see it
risk?
For risk itself, it's a great point, because it's going to improve everything we do.
Yep.
And it's going to potentially create new risks. So I haven't really landed on that either. But does that really matter? There's definitely going to be more risk we can insure on the back of it, I'm sure.
Yep.
But there's also things we can do a lot better on the back of it. So I haven't spent the time working out which way are the scales. There's a more risk or opportunity. It's there and it's going to be there. We need to work through it.
No, I think you're right. I don't think it's going to change.
It is.
Not necessarily increase or decrease, just change.
I mean, there's a lot of conversation going on within the organisation about it and within the industry about it, which is excellent.
Yeah. And we're in a softening market, as you've mentioned.
Yeah.
More capacity shooting around. How does this market, in your view, compare to the last soft market we had, sort of 12 to 16, or the one we had just before the global financial crisis?
Yeah, it's a good question, isn't it? I don't think it's all that soft yet.
Okay.
So, and whether that's pricing models, which of course you go back 2 soft markets ago, no one had a pricing model, and then last soft market,
it was all about what was in here.
No, exactly. The pricing model was in everybody's heads, which was obviously brilliant. And last soft market, probably half the lines probably had pricing models. Now almost everything does. So that should put some sort of constraint on it. Which I believe it is doing, because now underwriters and others have to write an essay on why they're ignoring the pricing model. So that should constrain it. That said, in commercial property cat, especially US cat, we've seen it go up a lot and come down a lot relatively rapidly.
Yes. And maybe that's also because the pricing is more definitive than it used to be.
I agree.
I think people have more confidence that there's margin available.
I think so. So I think the market shouldn't be as soft as the previous ones. I'm hoping. And certainly we're seeing it's not as soft across the board. There's still plenty of opportunity in our casualty lines and other lines.
Yep. And so of the 3 platforms, where are you seeing the most opportunity? In the US, internationally, or in Australia?
So internationally in the US at this point.
Right.
Because of my comment about this excitement of more capacity coming into Australia and just the scale of the market.
Yeah.
The US market's that much bigger. UK, European market that much bigger.
Yep.
And Australia not being particularly large.
And if you were talking to a group of graduates about why they should go into insurance, what would you tell them?
It's obviously a best kept secret, isn't it? And I was speaking to a group of school leavers last week, and it's interesting, people don't find us. So it's a question of how do we actually find these graduates? If you're speaking to the graduates, I think you need to talk about the relationships, the risks we do. It needs to be like a set of pictures of the things that insurers help the world achieve and help the world recover from. And generally we don't do that. We make it sound complex, dry, numbers driven. And
I think
people don't like it.
Insurance is very
exactly. So
resonant at the moment.
So I like it. And I got, as you know this, I got my dad into insurance a lot. And he was someone who...
And he wasn't.
No, he wasn't into insurance. He wasn't a big fan.
No.
But he got him into, now that every sort of world event he saw on TV, he saw, I bet the insurers are picking up something on that. I bet the insurers are picking up something on that. And he related everything he saw to insurance. I think we need to get people to think like that in a positive way. That we're helping these people recover from these events he's seeing on TV.
Yeah, and we can help people take risk. As you talk to businesses around the world, because I know you like talking to clients.
I do, yeah.
What do you think most businesses underestimate in terms of risk?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think they underestimate the interconnectedness of various things. So at the moment, I mean, just think about the geopolitical issue at the moment. It's going to be the second order and third order issues that impact us rather than what's happening now. Because often I get questions about how the client's being impacted now, which is fine on what's happening. But the impact on him, it is, isn't it? It is. And in our industry, that's what we see. Because I get calls, what's happening to your 2026 results and what's happening now? Well, there may be a few losses, but I'm more worried about inflation, interest rates, how the clients feel, global economy next year. So it's those things, but they're hard to think through. And risk managers generally do think that through. But it can be underestimated. It can be sort of easy to ignore or just put it out. We'll think about it when it happens. And the preparation should be now for when it happens in a year's time.
Yeah, and to be fair, I think insurers can do the same thing.
Oh, no, definitely.
That's next year's problem.
No,
actually, the time to think about it is now.
It is, yeah. So I think it's that, but it's not an easy thing to do.
No, I agree.
And so many things are connected. This happens and then that risk pops up, which is not directly linked to that risk.
Well, that's a great final question. Thank you, Andrew.
Okay, no problem at all.
Mr. Horton, CEO of QBE. Thank you very much indeed for joining me this morning. It's great to see you again.
It's great being here, Adrian. Thanks for inviting me.